Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions shifted back to bullish in a bull market. Right at the location we were talking about yesterday. That was a pretty high probability location of a bounce, and we'll see how sustainable that turns out to be, but we're still seeing that buy the dip mentality in this overall uptrend, which is a good sign for some more bullishness. We talked about the support area happening right around here on S&P 500, and we're getting a little bit of a nibble by the bulls here at that location. Buy sell ratio is still sitting relatively flat and not a lot of confirmation right here. So basically at par at 1.98, and we'll keep an eye on that certainly. Overall stocks for today, if we take a look at our new buy list, and let me refresh that and let's pull those in here. We've got, I'm not sure, I need to look closer on CIR to see what the story is on that. It's more than likely it's a buyout and just dealing with price activity. I would just move on from that, skip through that. CPS, really a nice looking pattern here where you have an overall uptrend and you have a retracement pulling back down in this overall new trend. If we go to a 1-year chart, you can see this is a nice looking bullish profile where you have this overall long-term and short-term trends moving higher, a retracement back to a support area, and then a big confirmation move. I say confirmation move because that's exactly what it is right here. You now know that the bulls are in control of this overall stock. It's pulling back, it's finding support, and now you had a big massive run, 16%. Inside of a beginning new uptrend. Really nice looking chart pattern there today to keep an eye on for CPS. An interesting sector here as well, industry, auto, truck, and auto parts. We're seeing transportation. Transportation had a big move yesterday. FedEx, really shipping, transportation, anything to do with, economic movement, we're moving pretty well, and this stock seems to be participating in that also. ELF, this is a stock that comes and goes in the new buy list as it's going from hold back to buy, but it's just had a fantastic overall uptrend for the last year. It looks like it wants to continue that overall uptrend also. And then also INTT, this is a muscle stock that had gone from buy back to hold, and now it's moving back to buy again. Muscle stock, then a 99 rank. So if you were to go over to the muscle stocks tab here and pull those in, you're going to be able to get these rank stocks of 99 or higher. Sometimes they've already moved and they're up in this extreme, but there are oftentimes where it'll pull back in, and you can scan through this list and look for stocks that are inside of that buy zone, and INTT has just moved back inside that buy zone. And it's also got a really nice looking pattern in terms of a counter trend, a breakout counter trend, and then a confirmation bar. 10% on the low for a stop loss. So any continuation, if it trades below this area where your stop is happening, then that's the line in the sand. That's where you're going to exit. And we don't want to wait around and see what happens once stocks start to fall. They might fall further. They might find support and move up, but that's not our game, is to wish and hope. Our game is to have specific processes and rules so that we can replicate that. And one of the key things in replication of overall successful trading experience is to make sure those stop losses are tight and small. A small loss, we want to take that small loss first. We don't want any small losses to turn into big losses. So that's why I always suggest having a stop loss in place to know at what point you're wrong. And at this point, we would be wrong if the stock traded all the way below that bar. Doesn't make us stupid or wrong or anything. It just simply means that the trade didn't work. And so when that starts to happen, we just simply want to get out and reevaluate at that point. Maybe move to a different stock, whatever the case may be. But that's setting a stop loss, in my opinion, is critical. LMB. We had building and construction. We're seeing building and construction. We're seeing transportation, shipping. We saw some oil yesterday. Medical devices, still seeing those also continue in this overall uptrend. So we'll see if we get some confirmation on this move, on this S&P move today. This is a nice looking chart pattern on a construction stock. Had a retracement, pulled back, found some support, and now it is looking for that overall uptrend. And that's one of the things. Remember that over here on this left side, this momentum number that's right here, that's the same momentum number that is right up here. So when I move my mouse over the chart and I look down at this bottom corner, I can see where momentum is. So right now it's at 80, and you can see if I mouse over this right here, it is also at 80. So I can look to see, right here, this extreme was up at 166. That's not really super extreme, but it would have been up in this extreme range where it's an unsustainable trend. Remember that these uptrends, they don't sustain when they start to look like this. They're going to retrace and come back to an overall uptrend, find some support, continue to move higher. So in this case, it started to move a little higher. We can recognize that by looking to see if stocks get up into this upper extreme range, give it some time to give it a pullback, and then watch for this setup. So as you're looking for stocks that are in an uptrend and they give you a pullback and they're highly ranked stocks, then this is the exact location where you want to be adding into some of these big winners. These are the leaders. These are the ones that are working. These are the ones that are moving higher. So these are the ones you want to be focusing on, and then watching for pullbacks, watching for opportunities to be able to get a little bit better setup. And this is a good example of that right here. Let's see if there's any others here in the top 10 or so. IONQ, potential breakout there. If it could clear up above that 11, 11 and a half range, may get some continuation on that. STRL, engineering construction stock. We're seeing construction now. That's 2 or 3 that we've seen. Also finding this. Look at that tight consolidation. That's also a very good bullish pattern when you have the run up and then you just don't have any sellers. You don't have new buyers, but you just don't have any sellers either. So waiting for some kind of trigger or confirmation, probably on a breakout move on a stock like that for continuation of that overall uptrend. In this case, even though it's still has a bullish move and you're interested in getting in, just make sure that the stop loss is down below all of this support area. This is continuing to hold in these support locations. You might just set a stop down there at $50 and then looking for some continuation. That's just some ideas in terms of money and risk management, because that is the most important part. We can't control what is happening to the stock once we're in it. The market controls that. We can wish and hope and stare at the screen all we want. It doesn't do any good. All we can do is manage when we buy it, how much we buy, and where our stop loss is, and how we're managing the risk, the position size, stop loss location, and when and where we buy. Those are what we're in control of. Once we make that decision, we no longer have any control. We have to then follow what the market is giving us. And if it goes higher, it goes higher. If it moves lower, we get stopped out and move on to something else. It doesn't have to be an emotional game. It just simply has to be a process to be able to follow, and making sure that each of these steps are set up to be able to manage your risk, and then let the market make the money for us. That'll do it for today's update. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic day today.